welcome. Going to get started now. As we get started, in this stream, in this episode, this video that you're watching, we'll be talking about the dark side of Japan. You know, we talk a lot about Japan through the music that I react to, that you react with me on this channel, right? Now, of course, not every band's from Japan. There's also The Warning that's from Mexico, but a lot, I would say everyone would agree on Rant and Chill, it's mostly Japanese bands. And it's no secret that I'm fascinated by Japanese culture and, you know, what goes on over there. I think a lot of us are. And a lot of us, you know, as foreigners, see it as a place of, like, kind of intrigue, and it seems like a very fun place to visit. And maybe that's what it is, you know, obviously. But there's more to it, right? There has to be like a seedy dark side to it, something that we're not aware of. And that's what we're going to talk about here today. I have some videos to react to. I almost wanted to change the topic like minutes ago before going live. I was like so close to changing the topic, but it's better to just plan it, and we're going to plan it for Friday. I don't, you know, there's people who say don't give this guy attention, but the topic won't be long. Okay, it's this guy right here. BABYMETAL, manufactured by, I don't even want to read this headline. I can't read this headline. If I want this stream to be able to be monetized, I cannot read the headline of his video. I don't think anyway. But he puts out there this ridiculous claim that is just dumb. And I've watched it. I need to rewatch it, though. And I'm going to really think if we're going to talk about this on Friday. If we don't, it's because the stuff he says, it's so dumb, it would be pointless to even talk about. And that might be what it is. If I don't do it via a stream, it might be like a quick, maybe like 5-minute video, maybe 6-minute video, you know, something quick. It's a moronic take from a moron that knows nothing about BABYMETAL, but has something to say about it for sure that is very bold. Making an accusation about the demographic, about the people who enjoy BABYMETAL, an accusation that is pretty bold and wild. And he sits there saying, I'm just asking questions. I'm just asking questions. All right, guy. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'll put the link in the chat so you can see it. Okay. There's that. But I'm not gonna talk about it tonight, not any more than what we did. So yeah. Yeah, I saw a post in the BABYMETAL subreddit. I think that post has been removed because it's probably for good reason. Giving the guy attention is kind of what he wants. I mean, that's kind of the point of his video there. But what's weird about it is he talks about Death Clock, and he has some good things to say about them. And then he just makes this wild claim about BABYMETAL, and in the claim he makes, he's pulling from, there is a reality, there is a truth about the seedy nature of like the idol industry, in the sense that there are definitely there were and probably are still creepers in the midst of the, you know, working with the idols. That happens in every entertainment sphere, world, or whatever, okay, sector, okay. You know, happened in Hollywood. It still happens in Hollywood. It doesn't, you know. It happened with you know, with the Disney kids and the Nickelodeon kids. It happens. It happens. It shouldn't happen, but it does. I'm not saying it, not excusing it, but this stuff he talks about isn't anything that's like exclusive to Japan or to the idol industry, and it's not like it is. It's not like it is that way for everyone involved in the idol industry. You know, there's always bad actors and all that. Anyway, we'll talk more about that maybe on Friday. Maybe there is more to talk about there if I think about it. I'll sort my thoughts. With that said, let's move on. We're going to talk about the dark side of Japan. We're going to talk about the dark, seedy side of Japan. That's what we're going to do here. Our opening video today was this here. I mean, this is a yoga channel, Motivation Time with Molly. And this is what she does. Yeah, it's not about yoga, is it? I don't think it's about yoga at all. I bet she has an OnlyFans. Oh, she 100% has an OnlyFans. You know she does. Yeah, what to show you her yoga skills? Yeah, that's exactly it. Okay. All right. Enough dilly dally. In the beginning, how you guys doing in the chat? You doing okay? It's just clickbait. Yeah, it's just clickbait. It's stupid stuff. I will watch it and I'll see. I'll see if there's anything to really go off of. Let's see. Someone said you should check the case of the concrete encased schoolgirl. Oh, actually, I know about that a little bit. A little bit about me that you may not know. I used to run another YouTube channel that was it used to be more active. Now it's pretty much collecting dust. It used to be about horror. And there was a side show that another guy I was working with did called, what did he call it? Man, it's been such a long time. The show, it was a podcast and stuff, and they would talk about serial killers and bizarre crimes and stuff, and that was one of the crimes they talked about. I would have to find it and link it. Man. But yeah. I know there's lots of videos. There's lots of videos out there that we can explore together, 100%. And maybe we will. I'm going to start off here with this video called The Dark Side of Japan. It's very broad, and maybe it could take us on a path. I can already see here it's going to bring up maid cafes. Okay, well, maid cafes are cool. But yeah, is there like a creepiness factor to it? There can be. It's kind of like seeing... You know, like strip clubs are cool. Is there a creepiness factor? Yeah, it can be. You know, if you live in a strip club, if you go there every day, there might be. First off, you probably have no money. Brian Little, I like what you said there in the chat. 100%. And we'll talk more about that on Friday. Maybe. Junko Furuta would be a good match to do a stream with her. Oh, that would be cool. I would actually like to reach out and do more guest streams. Last Friday was... So normally what I do on Fridays, I try to reach out for a guest around Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or whatever. So I rotate the bands we're going to talk about. You know, last week it was The Warning. And this week I was planning on maybe doing Love Bites or something. But we could always do Baby. It's if I find someone who's interested to come on and talk, you know, that's pretty much it. But it's hard to find people sometimes. I'll reach out and ask, and they'll be like, oh. And most of the time I get no response. Sometimes I do get a response, and if I do, okay, cool. Oh, Junko Furuta. That's the name. Okay, that's the name of the killer. Oh. I paid attention to that podcast that I used to do, huh? Well, I didn't actually do it. I guess you could say I produced it, whatever. All it was is I hosted on an old YouTube channel. I gotta find it if I can find it there. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started here. So the dark side of Japan. Let's explore this video and see what they bring up. I guarantee we know from the still frame that they're gonna talk about maid cafes. They're probably gonna talk. Let's make some predictions. Make it fun. And see if we're right. I like to bet, I like to gamble. I do have that in me. I discovered that in Vegas. I did not win in Vegas, but what I realized is that I can't. I should just stop. And I was able to stop myself. So anyway, you want to know how much I lost in Vegas? I mean, I kept on pulling out hundreds. I thought it was only going to be 400, but it kept on going. All right. You can guess the number. Maybe you're right. Maybe you'll be right. You can let me know in the comment section afterwards for those who are watching afterwards. How much did Mr. Deadman Rant and Chill lose in Vegas? Okay. And we'll see if the number's right. I'll make some predictions here. If you were a betting man, would you bet they're going to talk about Maid Cafes? 100%. You see it right there. Would you bet they're going to talk about the work culture? That people work themselves to death? There's a certain S word I can't say on YouTube. It gets things demonetized. You know, none of these live streams really get monetized. They're always limited because something I say or whatever. But you know, self-deletion is pretty big in Japan. Another way I say that's so easy. It shouldn't be, but it is. They're going to talk about that. They may talk about their look on foreigners. Like, Japan's not really open to a lot of like refugees and stuff like that, which I think is a good thing. Don't get me twisted there. I don't think any country is obligated to just take people in all willy-nilly. I think that's kind of dumb. I mean, unless the country feels guilty for playing a part of, you know, bombarding a certain place over and over again. But, you know, that's a whole other thing. That's beyond the scope of what I could talk about here on the stream, beyond my knowledge. And I'll stay on my lane on that one. But, you know, they might talk about that. They may talk about panty vending machines. And those are my predictions. All right, let's go ahead and go. Let's get into it.
And that you all used to see. Beautiful mountains, modern technology, and ancient temples. But did you know that you can't go into public swimming pools or bathhouses if you have tattoos?
I did not know that. So no tattoos. So tattoos are not allowed in Japan in public bathhouses.
Or that many people are so overworked they often sleep in the streets. Or even worse, decide to...
we got overworked. We should play bingo. We got overworked. Oh, we could play bingo for these streams and call it La Loteria. I like playing that. And that would incorporate like the warning, the Spanish ness into the stream too. You know, that'd be very cool. And I do play that in real life with my wife's family. It's a very fun game. It's very fun.
Disappear and build an entirely new life. The
tattoo thing is probably because of what, like Yakuza and stuff like that. So like whenever you see someone with a tattoo, like in a band, it's probably fake, right? But there's some that it's probably real. Like the Maximum the Hormone guys, they have real tattoos. The Maximum the Hormone guys look like if you hang out with them, like they seem kind of rough. And I mean rough in a good way. Like, I don't know if I can hang with them. I don't know, man. First off, I know they've been making jokes about me. I'll be in the barrel, so to speak. You know, they'll be clowning on me real hard.
Is the dark side of Japan. Something that's been around for a long time in the country is the Japanese Yakuza, or Japanese organized crime group. Yakuza have been in existence for over 300 years, tracing back to 1612 when they started to attract the attention of the government. They are organized into families and group members for mutual protection, having similar rituals and format to the samurai. In fact, it was believed that Yakuzas are descended from gangs of ronins or wayward samurais. The Japanese Yakuza engage in extortion, blackmail, smuggling, drug trafficking, gambling, loan sharks, and other activities that control restaurants.
You know, some of those activities, though, I hear what the guys say, Yakuza, extortion and blackmail and stuff like that. I think, what about ordinary business? I mean, okay, let's talk about, like, extortion. Guys, what's your opinion on being forced to pay money to a government just because you live there because you were born there. I mean, you didn't make any choice. You're just there, right? I mean, you participate in the society, sure. But, because you do certain things, money is taken from you and put out of your pocket into the pocket of the government. And they're supposed to do things with that money, taxes and all. But what do they always do those things? Usually not, right? It's like, hey, I'm paying these taxes. Now, maybe this is not true for Japan, but I know certain cities in America, you probably feel this way because you pay taxes, but you don't see what they say they're going to do. And it's like, oh, are you just using that money to pay your salary? I mean, you pay taxes for police to protect the community, right? To establish law and order. And anymore today, things are in complete chaos and shambles, and it's allowed. It seemed like things are actually much more controlled when the organized crime was run things. I don't know. I hear this, I'm like, well, Yakuza's probably bad. It's probably bad to have organized crime run the show. But at the same time, is that really all that different from a government that isn't doing anything? Now, I don't live in Japan. I can't really speak about their government or anything like that. I'm just speaking from the perspective of someone who lives in America. And America's huge. I mean, I'm in Texas. I don't have a lot of, I'll just, I shared my thoughts. You guys let me know what do you think about it. Is Yakuza good? What I'm asking, is Yakuza better than the government? Would you feel better trusting a Yakuza gang to take care of your community or the police? I'm just putting it out there. Oh, man.
Bars and companies all over.
Guys, this is a comedy channel. Okay. You guys know that, right? I mean, come on now.
Over the cities.
I got to work on my stand-up game. It's all the shit to me. It's all the same. Yeah.
Yakuza members often have elaborate tattoos.
Oh, and let's talk about drugs, running drugs. I'm sorry. Wait. Especially America. Wait. Literally, America, the U.S. government, the CIA funded secret wars through running drugs, profiting off of running drugs in the ghetto, specifically crack cocaine. So what's the difference? The difference is one can do it legally because they run the show. They have the bigger guns, and they're respected. Okay.
That have their meanings. Members of a clan often have the same tattoos, but with a strict requirement. They should not be visible in everyday life.
There. And no Yakuza ever forced me to take a vaccine. Yeah, right? That's right.
You might also recognize them by their missing...
Sorry for the cough. I had my my 8th booster today.
pinky fingers. Often, Yakuza have to undergo yubitsume, or finger shortening, to pay back for their wrongdoings. They reached their height in the 1960s with over 180...
That doesn't look like footage from the 1960s. I mean, this video is cool and all, but like the footage it uses is like all over the place.
84,000 members, but nowadays their numbers have dwindled to 40,000. This could be due to the laws established in 2011 that made it illegal for businesses to give money or make transactions with gang members.
Reno's tattoos are real. Heavy metal is law. 100%, they're real. Now,
Yakuza is also why the Japanese are very strict about tattoos, as it's often synonymous with the organized crime group. In Japan, people with tattoos are banned from entering most onsens, hot springs, ryokan, traditional inns, sento, public baths, pools, gyms, or even some capsule hotels.
Probably the lame ones banned it, though. I mean, come on. The ones that you really want to go to, the ones that probably have like the better selection of beer, probably the better prices, probably allow tattoos. I'm just guessing. You know, it's probably not all of them, right? Because the Yakuza, those guys are hanging out somewhere. People with tattoos are hanging out somewhere.
Hotels. The rules were made to keep the gang members from certain spaces. Aside from association with the Yakuza, there was also a time in the Edo period when criminals were punished with tattoos, and sex workers would have tattoos to show romantic devotion to customers.
Well, that's kind of cool. Hey, wait, what's that about? Sex workers would have tattoos as a signal? Is it like just like a brand them so that way you know? That way you could tell? You could tell who's open for business, so to speak, if they're given a... I mean, is it a tattoo that you would be able to see as you're walking on the street? Because that would be better. That way it's put out there and it's promoted, and that way people know. That way people aren't just asking anybody, any woman they see walking by, if they're open for business, if they can get a, how much for a BJ, all the cool places probably run by Yakuza anyway. Probably, maybe. I don't know.
Tattoos were deemed illegal during the Meiji period, 1868 to 1912, although it was legalized again in 1948. The stigma continues, and people with tattoos still have limited options when it comes to bathing facilities. You might be familiar with the Fukushima tragedy. In 2011, a 15-meter tsunami disabled the Fukushima Daiichi reactors, causing a nuclear accident where 3 cores melted. The incident is rated level...
Oh, I was not... Oh. Let me get this. Another dark side of Japan is that they're just going to be dumping radioactive wastewater, radioactive waste into the ocean. Well, don't be surprised by this. You're probably not. Guess what? China and other countries do it as well, and they do it more and all that stuff. I know that's like a what about them, but it happens. How safe is it? I can't tell you. I don't. You think I know anything about that? I don't know anything about that. And I guarantee you, a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's not safe," especially if it's like a comment section or on Twitter. Probably don't even know what they're really talking about. Probably parroting someone else. Okay? It doesn't sound safe, but where else are you going to put it? I don't, you're going to shoot it out to the moon? No? I mean, that would be cool, I guess. I mean, might as well. What else are you fucking doing with the moon?
Level 7 by the International Nuclear and Radiological Event Scale, the most serious level. Fast forward to August 2023, when the government decided to release treated
radioactive... I can't see the screen because the cat's in front of me. Like, you guys could see this. I gotta watch what's... Or I could just move it over here. There, that's solved.
...of water into the Pacific Ocean. Japan had already received a green light from the UN, as the analyzed value of radioactivity is 1,500 becquerels per liter of tritium, much lower than the 60,000 becquerels per liter of tritium standard. China immediately placed a ban on all Japanese aquatic products, and people in Japan, Hong Kong, and South Korea have voiced their concerns through protests. Some have turned to Reddit to discuss this issue.
And I'm sure those keyboard warriors know everything they need to know.
Have mentioned that
I'm sure they're not just parroting something they heard and be like, oh, this guy has a cool tie. He looks all nice on camera. He talks well. He's educated. He says this. I mean, someone could find a professional that says something else, okay?
Results of the research have shown that they are as radioactive as bananas, so there's nothing to worry about.
Okay, that sounds like a silly statement. They're as radioactive as bananas. That's bananas, man.
A lot of people still expressed concern as they're just diluting the radioactive water with seawater to lower the concentration and pretend it's safe. To put the rumors to rest, Japan's Prime Minister Fumio Kishida ate a fish caught in Fukushima, and his office released a video on social...
Is he still alive? Is he still alive? I guess... I don't know, but I'm guessing he's still alive. Do we know? Does anyone in the chat know if Fumio... Kishida? It's still alive.
social media.
Did he
Ironically, it was
develop
found that
cancer?
China, which
died.
banned Japanese products due to this incident, had
This
a
cat.
nuclear power plant
Make
that
your
released
choice,
about
man.
3 times more tritium than Fukushima. South Korea's
Oh,
Korea
look at that. Look at. Let's back up. Let me guess. China does it more. Of course.
that released about 3 times Japanese products due to this incident had a nuclear power plant that released about 3 times more tritium than Fukushima. South Korea, it was found that China, which banned Japanese products due to this incident, had a nuclear power plant that released about 3 times more tritium.
Well, of course China did. I mean, China pokes fingers at everyone else, but their guilt, oh my God. Remember the whole thing about people, I don't know, people talk, some people will talk about China like in a good light or whatever. Even about environment, which is goofy because like they don't care. I mean, they pump out more CO2 than anyone else. They don't give a damn. They overfish. Now we're learning to just pump out nuclear waste and just not give a damn. Okay, they don't care at all. They want you to care so that way you could stop your production. That way you can slow things down. That way they can continue on and maybe surpass you. That's their plan. They just want you to stop so they can be number one. That's it.
Fukushima. South Korea.
Famous last word. There's nothing to worry about.
Is Corey
Hey, I heard it enhances the taste. Okay.
Nuclear power
a little bit
plants
of radioactive
also had
waste.
similar amounts. Another side of Japan that you don't often see in other countries is their maid cafes.
Okay, maid cafes. Okay. I mean, I just look at it like, okay, it's like it's like a whole experience, right? Their waitress is dressed as a maid. That's kind of cool. I mean, it's kind of cool. I don't have a problem.
These are cosplay-themed cafes where staff are dressed up in maid outfits and serve customers. It's so popular among otakus that there are around 60 maid cafes in Akihabara alone. For the most part, it's a fun and harmless experience. But there's
a negative side to it.
Dark side to this industry. It's said that the work environment is very stressful, and some maids have panic attacks during working hours.
Okay. Back up. I'm going to put things in perspective here. I'm going to have to do this. I hate to be mean. Hold on.
An harmless experience, but there is some dark side to this industry. It's said that the work environment is very stressful.
Let's stop there. The work environment is very stressful. Now, the work environment may be stressful to people there. I don't want to belittle that. But at the same time, though, and I think they can get some perspective if they were to think about, I don't know, other people's work environments that are doing much more work than they are. Like, when I hear people complain about their work environments and their work, I'm like, even me, I can't really complain about what I do for a living because it's like, everything around me, there's devices, the clothes I wear, the phones we use are made possible by literal, you can call it slave labor. You can call it or close to it. It's like kids in caves mining for lithium, for cobalt. Okay. It's like kids manufacturing your clothes. It's like people paid next to nothing to make the clothes you wear, the shoes you wear, put together the products you use on a daily basis. I mean, you want to say your job is stressful. Your job is probably stressful. But at the end of the day, I mean, you're not like, are you bruised? Are you banged up from it? Are you scarred from physically? I mean, mentally you might be tired, sure. But is someone forcing you to do it by gun? Is someone threatening you to do it? Are you doing it because you got to make some money? Because in order to really do anything in any society on this planet, you got to have some money. You got to have some cash. Hey, you want to go live in your commie utopia? The next closest thing you can get there is maybe Cuba, or well, I don't even try Venezuela. But guess what? You're gonna need some cash. You're gonna need some money to do anything. You're gonna need to get a job. You're gonna have to work. It's gonna be hard work. It's not gonna be easy. Okay, it's not gonna be easy street. Some people are gonna be like, oh, but the consider this, consider that. But it's like, is this really the dark side of Japan, the maid cafe? Because now I'm thinking there has to be some other people in Japan that work harder, much more stressful jobs that get paid next to nothing, that are just, I mean, what I'm curious of like how does Japan handle its like construction? What does a construction job look like in Japan? Like, how well are they paid? Well, I'm sure it's very hard labor. What about the people who run the trash and stuff like that? I'm just, you know what? The janitors in Japan probably have a much more stressful job than a maid cafe person. Sure they have to pretend to like the people they're talking to, like any other. Get your tail out of my face. They have to pretend to like the people they're talking to, like in any service industry. But I've been through that. You've been through that. Ever worked in fast food? Ever worked in customer service? Ever worked, customer service? So I'm thinking Blockbuster days, Hollywood Video days. Ever worked sales? Ever had a call center job where you had to pretend to be nice and you couldn't unleash your real feelings? Is this really the dark side? Is this really the dark side? I just don't see it. I just don't.
And some maids have panic attacks during working hours. The maids are also forbidden to put on weight and keep their figures as slim as possible.
What? Maintain your physique. You're gonna get that treatment in like the strippers in Japan get that too. The models in Japan get that too. Why maid cafes? Like, yeah, you're gonna have to look a certain part. Yeah, because people don't want to go to a maid cafe if the maids look fat. That's just the reality of it. Hey, I'm gonna put you right here, Kat. I'm gonna put you right there. This is your side, okay? All right, you're right here. All right, that's the reality of it. All right. So yeah, they do have to look a certain way. They do have to keep their weight down. You might be like, oh, that's mean. Oh, well, that's kind of like the requirement of the look. If you don't like it, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. But that's what they want, because they're doing that because they're also trying to help the maids to be like, hey, like, you want to make money here too, right? Okay, well, we know that people aren't going to go to this venue, go to this establishment if you look all, chubby, okay? You gotta tone up. But it's not just exclusive to maid cafes. When you get that with models, you get that with anyone in entertainment. You get that with this is weird. Like, this is a silly dark side. This is like not even a dark side. This is like a shallow. It's like, really?
There's also a hierarchy within the maids, with foreign maids being at the bottom of the rank. Customers also have forums where they would discuss maids in sexually explicit ways.
Well, yeah, that's kind of part of it. It's kind of the package. What do you mean? I've seen videos of what these maids do. It's kind of cute, kind of cool, kind of a cool experience. They will kind of like, they give you like, hey, what are you doing? Over here. Stop. Like clearly this cat wants me to pet her. She wants me to pet her rough, right? She wants me to really pet her. If I do that, she's going to freaking bite me. Well, she's going to, no, don't rub against the mic. Stop. You are, that's not cool. Don't do that. Don't do that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that. I'm going to pet you until you bite me, and then we're good, right? Right? Okay, stop. Don't rub against the mic. No. Stop it. Hey, look at me. Look at me. You're not even looking at me. Look at me. Yeah, look at me. My eyes. Okay? You stay right there. All right? Don't rub against the mic. She likes feeling. I think she does. I think she wants me to scratch. Okay? She wants me. But this cat is weird, man. She wants me to scratch her and really rub on her. But she will snap. Be like, that was too much. And then this cat has a past. Okay? This cat used to be trapped in an attic. Okay? This is an attic cat. Not an addict, but an attic. And I think this cat, from what my wife told me, because it's my wife's cat, I don't know if this cat's ever had kids. I don't really understand the story. No, that's right. Her mom gave birth to the litter that she was in an attic, and she kind of just lived up there for a good while. This cat does not have people skills. This cat does not like people at all. Okay? The dark side of this house is you, Josie. You. Okay? Look, you get all the attention right now. You know, the stream's going to be called Mr. Deadman, Rant and Chill, just pets his cat over and over again. Okay? That's, you know, that actually might be a better stream. Mr. Deadman pets his pussy. Mr. Deadman, I like to pet my hairy pussy. I love petting my hairy pussy. All the time. I'm just sitting here petting pussy. Okay, what? Okay, look, I could scratch your head. Okay? Why are you doing this? Why are you forcing me to pet you? Why are you forcing me to love you? Stop. Okay. Look, she won't stop. This is a problem. Okay, come over here. Okay, stay there. Just stay. I'm putting a hard barrier right here. Can't cross. Yeah, no crossing. All right, we're going to play this video, and we're going to talk about it. Hey, we got to learn... no, right? This isn't really a dark side. This is not even shallow water. It's like Maid Cafe. Really? While they're talking about the Maid Cafe, there's actually like homeless people. The few homeless people in Japan. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the real city stuff.
Another term that's unique to Japan is the salarymen. Salarymen
Here we go, salarymen. The working guy.
Salaried workers or white-collar workers who are very loyal to their corporation. They're so loyal that most salarymen work between 12 to 18 hours a day. Some have even called them derogatory
What? Okay. I guess you're sleeping at the office.
terms like kaishi no inu, company's dogs, or shakichu, corporate livestock. The hard day of
Damn.
Japanese corporate workers began early in the morning when
I liked it better when it was not translated into English.
people have to stuff themselves into an overfilled train. These trains are so full that
Okay, that's kind of, it's like look at this guy.
the government
like-
decided to have a staff specifically tasked with cramming people in. Then they'll work away in the
okay.
office until nighttime. They work so late that they can only blow off steam in late night spots like izakayas or pachinkos. Sometimes,
Oh, pachinkos, yeah. Hey, just chill there and gamble all that money you made away to nothing.
the salarymen get so tired from working that some have to sleep on the street, the train, or even the sidewalk. Often, many families wouldn't be able to see much of their father since they work so much. Corporate workers in Japan are also facing
See, this part sucks. This is real, okay? And anyone who works hard, anyone who's worked doubles, even triples. Now, depending on where you are, they'll say you're not supposed to work triple shifts. That's like illegal, right? But doesn't mean it doesn't happen, right? I mean, let's face it. Anyone who's worked long hours knows about this experience. It knows it sucks. And I don't know anything about Japan as far as like what their working laws are. It seems like this stuff is like more acceptable, I guess. But you can find this stuff here in the States, or, you know, especially depending on what industry you're in. They might be like, it also depends on what company you're working for, huh? Because different companies, some companies just give you that shaft. Some companies will just like, not really care. And it also depends. Sometimes you just have a horrible day, maybe a horrible week where like things are just not right, and because of the work you have to do, you're working like long shifts, and it just sucks.
Facing dangerous consequences.
Ever worked so long? Man, I used to work at this psych facility, and I had a key to the front office because I also did like the front office stuff too. When between shifts, my sleep, because I was actually working a triple shift, but this doesn't make any sense now to talk about it because there's no time for sleep. You're doing the morning shift, the evening shift, and the late night shift. When are you going home, bro? I'm not. I'm here. My sleep was the hour break I would take, and I would go to the front office and sleep there. I'd find a spot and sleep. That was it. That sucked. I did that a couple times to help pay for the wedding. That was a long time ago, but yeah, man.
For their lifestyle, suffering from heart conditions, strokes, and mental health issues. Sometimes you can see people screaming and punching a hole in the wall in the streets of Tokyo because of stress. Sadly,
that'd be cool if you had footage of that. That'd be cool.
These meltdowns are so common that most people would just walk past each other as if nothing is wrong. The worst case is called koroshi, death by overworking. The first case of koroshi was recorded in 1969 when a newspaper company employee died of a stroke at the young age of 29. Some of these people are so overwhelmed that they decide to end their lives. They often travel to Aoki.
There we go. There we go. Our predictions, the maid cafes, the overworking, the self-deletion, that's all come true. If we're a betting man, this would have been good for you. You would have had a payday.
Igahara, a suicide forest to kill themselves. Another effect of their stressful lives is Jalhatsu.
As a Bruce, I started working at 7 a.m., expect to go home at 4, only to be up at 3 in the morning. Yeah. Yeah. And that sucks too. You know what? Also, like, sometimes what happens is your relief doesn't come in. And then what do? Well, guess what? You're working that double. That's what's happening. Right? What, you just going to go home? I mean, you could. You could play your luck that way. I'll just take the overtime and deal with it.
Where tens of thousands of Japanese people
and I look at it this way: I get the overtime, deal with it, and I'm buying a case of beer on the way home, right? I'm doing that, or maybe when I next time I go to the store, maybe pick up some steak or something to I know the money's going right in the food and booze.
Missing every year, people who purposefully vanish from their lives and disappear. People sometimes are so overwhelmed with work, they decide to disappear. Although the leading cause is due to dementia, some people escape due to domestic violence, debt, or the shame of job loss. There's even a line of business that helps people to disappear called yonigeya.
Yonigeya? Good thing we're not streaming on Twitch. That sounds like a slur. Geya. Yonigeya.
There's even a line of business that helps people to disappear called yonigeya.
A yonigeya, okay.
Japanese are some of the friendliest people in the world.
Make you disappear.
But that doesn't mean they don't discriminate. The country is famously homogenous with over 98.5.
Oh, we got it. We got this for two. We predicted it right. I did not see this video beforehand.
5% of the population being purely Japanese. However, there's the case of Hafu, or half Japanese people. These people often feel alienated as most people view them as foreigners.
Well,
Some Korean and Chinese
well, that is what it is, isn't it?
Hafu face discrimination as they're from countries that were colonized by Japan. This is especially true as well for black Hafu. They face plenty of stereotypes, such as being good at basketball, funny, or liking rap music.
Well, hold on. Hold on. I gotta be careful what I say here. But he might be better at basketball than some. He might be, because he might have an advantage of him just being taller, right? Right? Someone who's taller, like, hold on, let's go back to this guy. I haven't seen him stand up, but I'm gonna predict he's probably taller than most Japanese dudes. So he's probably able to have more control of that ball, which would already make him better. Look, here's the thing. I mean, these stereotypes are true over here in America, where there's a lot more of mix of all sorts of diversity, right? I mean, there's a reason why the NBA looks the way it does. There's a reason why all the sports look the way they do. It's because they know they can get certain performance. Okay? All right? It just is that. And it's not like they're doing it to be racist. It's not like, because you got to think about people, especially professional athletes in America. Let's take football and basketball. Okay, before they're professional, they're in college. Okay, before the college, there's high school. Okay, and they're going through this whole thing. They're going through the process, right? You got to think someone who really wants to play sports in America professionally. They're going through the whole system, and then it's kind of a vetting process of who's the best. Who's the best, okay? And it gets selected that way, all right? Is it racist? Is it wrong that it's a lot of black dudes? No. It just shows that they're really good at sports, bro. They're really good. They're really good. How is that a bad thing to say? so Japanese people will be like, hey, are you good at sports? You're black. Be like, whoa. I mean, are you? You probably could be. You might be. And you throw in basketball instantly. Like, okay. Look, it's not the worst thing there to be good at sports, to be faster, to be more athletic and stuff like that, whatever. And this sort of stuff here, like, I have no problem with Japan being like Japanese. It's fine. I don't have a problem with that. If you want to try to live there, and I mean, you look different, yeah, they're gonna look at you. They're probably gonna have certain thoughts about it because they don't really know you very well, and you're gonna have to prove them otherwise. That is true. Now, you're probably not going to run into like KKK levels of like racism and shit like that. You're probably not going to run into those issues. So let's not go crazy. It's just going to be, you're going to have to deal with people having some misconceptions because the way you look, okay, because they're not used to you, and you're going to have to deal with that. That's true with anybody who's trying to live in a community, in a society where they really stand out. I mean, if you were to try to live in India, I mean, I'd probably say the same thing. I'm done with this one, but yeah, it is what it is.
Stereotypes, such as being good at basketball, funny, or liking rap music. If you ever buy a phone in Japan, there's one little annoying detail to their cell phones you might have noticed. All their cell phones will have a shutter sound you can't turn off no matter what you do. For some people, this is an annoyance, but it can be life-changing for others. The reason behind this shutter sound is privacy concerns, so people can't take pictures they shouldn't be taking. The country has a lot of cases...
That's cool. That's a good thing. We need to have that feature. That way I know someone snap my photo. Hey, bro, you snap my photo? Why you snap my photo? Okay? I got to charge for that. I go out in public. That's how I act. I act like a diva. I act like a YouTube celebrity. I'm like, hey, do you know who I am? Now, who are you? I'm Mr. Deadman. I have a YouTube channel called Rant and Chill that has, how many subs I have now? You got to know who I am. No. I like this. Okay, I didn't break this. They have a culture of sneaky photos, upskirt photos. That's the dark side of Japan. That's nothing unique. You got that here in the States too. You got that here in America where people like putting cameras on their shoes to get like upskirt shots of people just walking by. Man, I was expecting the only thing here that's like exclusive to like Japan would be like the maid cafe, but it's not. That's because they're the only country that really has maid cafes. But their problem that they pointed out with the maid cafe, maybe the suicide forest. That's self-deletion forest. Okay, maybe that. And maybe there is something to their work culture because they are working to the point to where they want to a lot of them go to this forest and just hang around. Bad joke, but you know what I'm saying.
Is where people take unwanted pictures of others. The Japanese police saw a huge rise in voyeurism, a 60% rise from 2007 to 2016. That's why this law was made, to protect vulnerable people, especially women. Even the tech giant Apple agreed to customize the cell phones that they ship to Japan. So although this might seem a little annoying to you, it's made with good intentions and the overall purpose is to safeguard people's privacy. Japan is such an interesting country.
Okay, so this
that I wanted to share a couple more interesting facts. Japan is the land of wacky invention.
Okay, this is wacky stuff. I don't care about wacky stuff. This dark side was lame. Is there a darker side? Oh, here we go. Dark side of schoolgirls for sale in Japan. Okay, there we go. Now we're talking. Let's get into the seedy. Let's get into the stuff that is messed up. The dark side of schoolgirls for sale in Japan. Well, that is a no-no. Should not do that. Of course, is that exclusive to Japan? Of course not. Here in America, we have politicians that have been have crossed paths, and even shared photos, and even been on planes of people who are known to be in the business of providing kids to people. So, but we're learning something here. The dark side of schoolgirls for sale in Japan.
DSI emits the sparkling lights
Are these videos like voiced by AI? These voices suck.
of Tokyo, hides a controversial and complex phenomenon, the JK, Joshi Koze, culture in Japan. Although initially seen as a world of passionate youth, the reality behind the scenes highlights a business that not only raises the issue of sexual exploitation of young girls, but also exposes deep social challenges. In this narrative, we will dig deeper into the culture of JK, trace the root of the problem, and reflect on the efforts needed to deal with it. Want to know what happens next? Watch this video until it's finished so we...
Yeah, man. I hope we learned something from this video. I hope we do. Because already, you can tell it's produced like by AI. The script, the voice, everything.
don't fail to understand. Japan has an extraordinary tolerance for the sexual exploitation of young girls. In Akihabara, the center of Tokyo, there is a JK, Joshi Koze, culture that presents big business around high school girls. While it may seem trivial at first, the business presents a serious problem, with girls often blaming themselves for selling themselves out.
Okay, pause right here fast. Now, is this problem... I mean, okay. I was going to ask here, is this problem really exclusive to Japan? I mean, I don't. Hey, this cat is hitting me with her tail. Look, the cat's sleeping right here on the desk, and like, I'm moving my hand right, and she'll hit it with her tail. I'm like, what are you doing? And then she'll act like she's bothered. And when she's the one, you hit me. What are you doing? Anyway, I don't know. Like, I'm thinking of Britney Spears. Or Britney Spears. The whole Baby Hit Me One More Time. You know, she was 16 on that album, right? There's a lot of people, you probably did as well. There's a lot of people who thought, hey, that looked hot. I don't blame you if you did. Is it wrong? Yeah, it's wrong. She was 16, bro. And you know who put that out there for you? The music industry. American music industry. Put that 16-year-old on the cover right there, present her in that sort of way. With that song, Baby Hit Me One More Time. Which actually was a TLC song, actually. Well, the backing track was. That's right, TLC. Chasing Waterfalls. Don't go chasing waterfalls. Yeah, that group. I would say, like, while you'll see it in American media, like in the music industry and in some movies, and you'll definitely see it in the porn if you go look, it's right there for you, right? Is it as prominent? I mean, I don't know. I don't know about that. Let's see. Let's listen to more.
Basically, GK is a business where high school girls sell services such as fortune telling, massages, or even hanging out with customers. This takes place on a public street under the watchful eye of a group of men who appear to be their boss. While it's initially open to recording, there's a darker
they have pimp and bodyguards. Look at that.
secret behind the scenes. Many JK girls are
You
involved.
kind of have that now, I guess. I'm sure there's a very seedy world involving Snapchat and stuff like that. I know nothing about that, but one can only wonder.
In this culture for various personal reasons, such as loneliness, family problems, or finances. However, the business is much deeper rooted, even encompassing underage prostitution. There are criminal groups that take advantage of this situation and lead to various forms of human trafficking. The importance of increasing understanding of the hidden aspects of JK culture is becoming increasingly clear. Not only are female students involved in this business at risk of becoming victims of sexual exploitation, but they may also become entangled in the perilous web of human trafficking. The conditions that encourage participation in a JK culture underscore the urgency to address contributing factors such as social.
I will say, when you go walking around in America, you're not going to see giant displays like this. I don't think, anyway. Do you? Marketing, like, no, of course, this is like young looking anime girls or whatever, but I don't see. I mean, you know, I mean, you'll see like sexualized images on billboards in certain places that are they appear to be like adult women, not like young women. But yeah, this is pretty nasty. This is pretty nasty stuff.
Isolation, economic pressure, and a lack of alternative opportunities. Several attempts have been made by the government and non-governmental organizations to help girls trapped in the JK culture. These programs focus on providing education about their rights, building useful skills.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you something. Like, how do you really stop this JK culture? Because it's like self-feeding. some of these girls, well, despite all their various motivations why, despite all their various background stories or, background details as to what brought them there, they're there because they need to make some money. And it's something they can do to make some money. I mean, people are gonna pay for it. I mean, are you gonna sup the Johns? Do you sup the Johns, or do you sup these girls? But how do you sup these girls? And how do you sup the Johns when even like your politicians get involved in this stuff? They pay for it. When the police will pay for it, because what these girls are selling. And I hate to say this, what these girls are selling is something that there's creeps in politics and the police force, and that are definitely going to buy into it as well, and that just feed into it. And the girls will put themselves out there and allow themselves to be put out there. It's I don't see how you solve this really, other than I suppose you could just go heavy handed and be like, make it, just shut it all down, and then what you have then is just, I mean, it's still gonna exist, but it's just gonna be like severely underground and not as out there blatant. I will say, from what I've seen in this video, it still looks a lot better than what you see in LA today. Have you seen the videos? I don't know if I even put this on YouTube. I don't even know. Let me see if we can find this. What LA looks like now, or like the hookers and the escorts. It's crazy. It's crazy. They'll walk around schools and stuff with their like ass hanging out in a thong. And there's videos on YouTube of shows like people walking around so you can see it, because they essentially decriminalized it. Even I don't think they decriminalized prostitution per se, but they decriminalized like loitering and things like that, or public indecency. So you just be flat out in a bikini and a thong and stuff out there in the streets, and the police can't mess with you. Let's see. LA escort. I think it's just every now and then I'll see videos like this. It's just like people are just walking around. Okay. Okay, this is 5 months ago. Figueroa Street. This might be what I'm looking for. Well, no, I have to look for it. Well, her ass is hanging out for sure. Is that a children's hospital? Hold on. I'm gonna put it on the screen. I just want to verify something. Okay, it's a children's institute. I don't know what that is. Sounds like a school to me. Okay, freeze frame. You have a prostitute. You have I spy with my eye 2 prostitutes in this picture. Do you see them? Do you see them? I'm sure you see one. That peach is that ass is just right there. You also see a sign there that says a children's institute. At the Head Start Center. Oh, that's like for young kids. That's for like, hey, Dad, you dropping off the kids? You want to make another kid? Now, hopefully not trying to make babies with a prostitute. That's stupid. This video doesn't have much for like prostitutes. That was like the only one. The Walk With Me stuff, I kind of watch these stuff every now and then. It's kind of sad to see. I think Seattle has a problem. Oh, Oh wait, here's a month ago. Here's a month ago. Let's see here. Yeah, you got hookers. You got. I mean, who's paying for that? Yeah, hookers. I'm more curious, like the buildings that they're near and what they are. More hookers. More hookers. That's a hooker there. These are like residential areas. There's like apartments and stuff. A hooker. So now you have it where like the prostitutes are going to the neighborhood. Maybe it's always been like that. It's just the American way. I'm sure they don't allow that in Japan. Because from what I understand, their red light stuff is pretty much down to a certain district, it sounds like. A certain area. So while Japan has its problems of like the JK stuff, like you have to go looking for it. And now these girls appear to be like wearing coats and stuff because it's cold out. They look like they're dressed as maids outside. You know, they don't look like they're not dressed down like American hookers.
And offering a secure support network. However, these issues are complex, and victims often feel trapped in a cycle that is difficult to escape. Stronger legal protection and strict law enforcement are crucial steps in overcoming human trafficking and sexual exploitation within the JK culture. In this regard, collaboration between government, law enforcement agencies, and civil society organizations is key to creating a safe and supportive environment for young girls. In this way, concrete steps towards change can be taken to address the root causes of these problems and prevent potentially bigger risks in the future. The World's Dark Side team concluded that, in a nutshell, Japan's JK culture reveals the complex reality behind the city's glow. Although initially seen as a youth game, the business hides issues of sexual exploitation and human trafficking. Efforts by governments and organizations to help victims offer hope, but stronger legal protections and strict law enforcement are needed to address the roots of this problem. In this endeavor, we are reminded of the importance of understanding the hidden layers of culture and co-creating positive change. Thank you for watching this video.
All right, so we learned a little bit about the dark side of schoolgirls for sale in Japan. Okay, and we also learned a little bit about the dark side of radioactive waste, but you know, other countries are doing it too, and China's doing a lot more, and then. I think really what we got from this video is that tattoos are forbidden in some areas, and what is it? Oh yeah, the war culture. Okay, you know what? Next time we do a little dive into Japan, we're gonna get into something deeper. Okay, maybe we're gonna do the dark seedy side of the J-pop industry. How about that? Or Japanese serial killers, are that girl that was killed in concrete. That would be cool too. Cool to explore. Be kind of interesting. But yeah, this was our dive here. I'm gonna have to wrap this up here. Hate to do that. Hate to do it so soon. But this was our dive here. Like I said, I'll be contemplating to see if we're gonna be covering this guy on that's not guy. This guy on Friday. We'll see.
They have in common.
We'll see. The stuff he talked about may not be much of anything. If I do cover it, it might be in a video. We'll see. Anyway, with that said, thanks for hanging out, Brucey. Who else is hanging out right now? It's probably just be Brucey. We'll see. Oh, it's Brucey, and heavy metal is the law. I see in the chat there anyway. Thanks for hanging out, and you guys have a good one.